What if I told you that manifesting your SP, your special person, is not about texting them, trying to convince them, or trying to change them? It's about releasing the story that they are far away, that love is gone. Okay, if this sounds kind of a little radical, I'll explain. If you don't know me, my name's Deborah. I am a transformational intuitive healer and coach, and I help people to rewrite the script of their love life or anything else for that matter that they may want to work on. So the way you do this is it's not going to feel, it's going to feel counterintuitive. How do you manifest someone that you're, or how do you manifest your SP back when you are in separation with them? And you said things, they did things, you did things, and you feel hopeless, like it's not going to work. All of those thoughts are actually designing the fact that it's not happening right now. We are the cause of everything that happens in our lives. Whatever we are thinking is exactly what we're going to experience. And it doesn't matter who said what and when, and which came first, the chicken or the egg. It just, all this is taking yourself and releasing everything in the way for you to be with this person. Now, when I am working one-on-one with someone, I always make sure that this is really what they want, because if you want to manifest your person back because you are just not wanting to feel the feelings, but it's not really, you don't like their behavior or whatever it is, it may not be the right thing to do. But in some cases, it is. And so when there's anything that you want in life, if you release on it, it can happen. Because the only thing that's in the way between you and that person being together are your thoughts. When my teacher said that to me, I was dumbfounded. I really couldn't believe it at the time. But now I experience that. So whatever you want to manifest, whatever it is, the only thing that's in the way are your thoughts. And usually the thoughts are doubts. They're fears. Doubts are fears. And so there's a lot of no's in the subconscious mind. So I want to go through the steps. I've had some people in some of my other videos ask and comment about wanting to know, how do you do this? So these are the steps. I've done it myself, and I do it in other areas of my life as well, and it works. So it's not a manipulation technique. It's just you clearing your own side of the sidewalk and seeing how everything transpires. So the first point is set the intention. A lot of times when I'm working with people one-on-one, and they've had heartbreak with someone, they're in separation, they're in shock, they don't know what to do. Of course, they're in those feelings and entertaining all sorts of thoughts about what I said, trying to figure everything out, trying to sort it out. So, of course, you're not going to be very focused, okay? But if you do want them back, this is going to help you. So you set the intention, and the way you do it is on the top of the piece of paper. I have you write, I allow for Joe and I to be back together again. And so it's going to bring up a lot of thoughts and feelings and emotions, okay? So you write that intention, and so you're giving your mind a direction to start to go into, instead of just being scattered, it gives your mind a direction. Number two, you write down every reason why you don't think it's possible. What's in the way? What is in the way? And these are the thoughts that you will come up with. Most people, they say, oh, he doesn't love me anymore. He never did. Or what I said hurt him and he'll never come back. Or even if you're manifesting just for a partner, just to call in a partner, a lot of times people have these hopeless thoughts of, I'll never find love again. I mean, all of these thoughts are so powerful, guys, that we hold on to, that they're actually designed, that is what we're experiencing. It's really that simple. So after you write down everything, And I would really take the time and sit and look at that sentence that you wrote, that intention. I allow for Joe and I to be back together again, and allow the mind to come up with all the reasons, the reason that they hurt me, they did this to me, blah, 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 whatever it is, write it down, because this is what you're going to consciously release. And what are we doing when we are entertaining these thoughts? We want control, we want approval, and we want security. We're either disapproving of ourselves or disapproving of them. We want to control them. We want to change them. We want to control and change ourselves. We want approval from them, which is love, or we want and we want security. Sometimes we try to make this person commit to us when maybe that's not really what they want to do, or that's not what they're meant to do. So releasing control, approval, security. So when you're writing all of these doubts, all of these things that are in the way, all the no's, because the mind is all about trying to protect you. Now, we do need the mind for protecting us, but in this case, we don't. So the mind's going to come up with every reason on the planet that it's not going to work. So then as you continue, you're going to have these subconscious thoughts coming up. You may be in the shower, you may be doing dishes, and another thought will come up and you go, oh my God. Because when you're releasing, you're taking a step back from your mind and you're going into your consciousness, your true self, your beingness, and you're taking a step back and you're questioning all of your thoughts. I mean, we don't even question our thoughts. We just buy them. And then we end up suffering. And it's a lot of unnecessary suffering. So this is taking a step back and really looking at why am I believing these thoughts? And it goes really deep, guys, because the more you do it, the more you see that none of these thoughts are real. They're just not. And we take them so seriously. We will die for our thoughts. We will die for our ideals. We will hold on to them so much that we will run with them. And that's for another video. So, so you're just taking a break, okay? So, so that's in step number 3. You're releasing everything. Release, and and it helps to have somebody by your side, helping you come up with these, to pull these things out of your subconscious mind. So then your conscious mind is seeing these for the first time. The spotlight is on them. And I know when I first started releasing, I thought it was so simple and so ridiculous. I'm like, really? Okay, I'm writing the intention and I'm writing all the reasons why. I mean, it seems so elementary, but it's so powerful. Okay, so number 4, which I already said, is releasing control, approval, security. So basically that's what you're doing as you're releasing, is you're looking at everything that you're writing, what it, in it's a limiting belief, basically, you're releasing. So you write something down and you go, am I wanting control? Am I wanting approval? Or am I wanting security? So always put those 3 words on the left side of the paper and just look at it. And this is one way to release, guys. There's so many other ways to release, but I'm just sharing with you this one way. So when you see it, you can't unsee it anymore. You go, oh my God, in that relationship, I was wanting to control. I was wanting to change the person. I was wanting approval. I was wanting, I was wanting security. Oh my God, and so you see all these things and you release them, and people go, well, how do you release them? You just don't pay attention to those thoughts anymore. Just to see them is half the battle. And then you because you become aware. And then you go, okay, I can do without that, and those thoughts, when they try to come up again, and they will, sometimes they don't. Sometimes people can release really easily. And if they come up again, just imagine them as clouds just passing by as vapor. They have no power over you. Just let them pass by. Like, thank you for sharing, but I'm not interested. You stop being interested in those thoughts and you start becoming interested in of what you want instead of what you don't want, because you were practicing what you don't want in the relationship, and that was part of the demise. So let's try something new, right? So number five is you're walking into the unknown with trust, and that's going to bring up even more stuff, because it'll see where you are on the map as far as your relationship with the universe, which is your highest self. And every time that I work with people, and they say, I want to get back together with Joe, and I ask them, okay, well, what caused the breakup? What do you think caused the breakup? What's going on? And so many times, people will say, well, he's an avoidant, and I'm an anxious attachment, and he's really stubborn, and he's really this, and he's really that, and I'm like, okay, so that's what you're going to be releasing. This is going to be a tall order, but if you really want this person back, you're actually going to help yourself first. And if you can truly release this stuff, love will be restored, but it will also help that person too, because what's happening is that when we have had a breakup, there are a lot of projections going on where you may be projecting that they are an avoidant and you're an anxious attachment. All that stuff is helpful, when you want to figure out the dynamic, but it's not going to get you anywhere. It's only going to keep you stuck, because you're going to keep them in a box and keep you in a box, and it's all about identification. You're identifying with, I'm an anxious attachment, he's a dismissive avoidant, whatever it is, right? As an example. And that's the most unloving thing that you can do, because it leaves no room for anyone to show up differently, even you. And so people, with their mind, their thoughts, put themselves in a box. And that's energy. And that energy goes out. And that's exactly what you experience. And it just keeps reinforcing this dynamic. And so then you feel stuck, and then you're heartbroken, and then I don't know what to do, and I'm not open to anybody else because it's unfinished, right? So at the very least, when you are doing these steps and releasing for reconciliation, you can't lose, because at the very least, you will find peace, and you might even decide, you know what, I don't really want this person back. Or they will come back, and they will show up differently, and you will show up differently, because it'll be fresh and new. And a lot of people also get stuck on this one too, where they say, well, I can do all the healing and releasing, and I can do all this, but they're who they are, and they're not going to change. See that thought? That's exactly what you're designing for the experience to have. If you say that, that's what's going to happen. That's, if you say so, okay. And that's where people get stuck. They don't believe that by changing themselves, that actually it could change them too. I mean, look at Annette Bening and her husband. Now I'm forgetting his name, but he was a big time, world-renowned player, right? And so everybody was like, oh, he's never going to settle down. Give me a break, right? So guess what? He did with Annette Bening. And my take on it, and I don't know, I'm just saying this is my opinion, is that she probably had different projections than some of the other women that he was with, as a player. Because those other people were also the same. They were players too. So they met their match, right? But Annette Bening was like, I'm not taking anything from no one, and so she, so he shifted. He shifted. So, of course, that's what I'm saying is the reason why I brought that up is because anything's possible. People can change. I've seen it over the years. I've seen people drastically, radically change. People that may have been fearful, avoidance, or whatever, very angry. Now they're the happiest I've ever seen them. I mean, so many people I've seen this. It's amazing. So and what I'm sharing with you is one way of healing. It's not for everybody. it's one way that works for me, and and I share it with the world, and I highly recommend trying it. So basically, I gave you the 5 steps. The 5 steps are to set the intention. Number 2, write down every reason why you don't think it's possible. Number 3, release your projections. And number 4, release control, approval, security through those projections, and then walk into the unknown. And that's the receiving part, because the tagline of my business is to release, rewrite, and receive. Release, rewrite, receive. I almost forgot what I was going to say. So manifesting is not about forcing someone to change, or it's not about a manipulation. This is what you do. It's it's bringing you back. I mean, the biggest point of release work is bringing you back to your true self, your consciousness that has everything. I mean, the beingness that you are, which is the God's self, is wealthy, is healthy, is love. We are all of these things. And I know that sounds very cliche, but people also ask me, like, well, how do you love yourself? You just go back to source. And then that can embrace the little body mind, the ego. And you're not discounting, you're not pushing down the ego, you're not in denial of the ego, but you're not feeding it with all these limitations anymore. And you're not feeding it with things that are imaginary, because they are. These thoughts are coming from our imagination, and we hold on to them and we create limitations from them. And we can use our mind to think of only what we want. And this comes from Lester Levinson. Lester Levinson was my teacher's teacher, and you can find him on YouTube. And I highly recommend listening to his videos too, because he's straight to the point, and it's just, whatever you want, think of only what you want, and that's all you will ever get. But most people in this world, including myself, are big, huge doubters. We doubt. And that's what's mainly in the way of anything that we want to accomplish, call in. So I hope this helps. And if you are really drawn to this, I have group healing, group Q&A, release to manifest Q&A. I have everything in the description of the community that I have built, and you're welcome to join or book a session, and I can support you in releasing what's in the way for your love life. If you want to bring someone back, or call in a partner, or anything else that you want to manifest. Anything that I ever want in my life, I release on. So that is the video for today, and thank you for watching. I hope you like and subscribe and share this with others.